Hi, I'm Wilhelm. Honestly, can you name all 10 commandments? Well, I couldn't before I made this video. The problem may be the word commandment. Nobody likes to be commanded. The moment somebody tells us what to do, we resent that and we try to find ways to get out of it. So over time, people probably regarded these 10 commandments as ancient and impractical. It took an outsider like Yogananda to look at these 10 commandments very carefully, and he said, "Look guys, you got it all wrong. These are, in truth, the 10 eternal rules of happiness." When we look at the 10 commandments through this light, we see the deep truth that these are actually rules for happiness, deep joy, and harmony and freedom. Let's look at the first one.
I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. Here God tells us very unmistakably how close He is to us and that we can come to Him with everything that troubles us. To achieve true happiness, He tells us not to tie ourselves to outer things, neither to other people, nor to the stuff with which we surround ourselves. Because all our wishes, passions, cravings, success, money, fame, or power are only weak substitutes for the inner deep joy and happiness. Is it not time for us to set these things aside as a child sets aside his toys because we have simply outgrown them? The second commandment, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. This is a reminder to pray or worship God with a focused mind and heart and use His name with care and respect. It also tells us to become aware that God is always present, because every time we forget that, we can easily get lost in our illusion. Going through the day thoughtlessly and carelessly causes chaos and suffering. God is present within us and in our neighbor, in the animals, plants, and minerals around us. Wherever we are, there is God. This awareness, deep reverence, connection, and presence with God gives us secureness, safety, and of course, happiness. Sooner or later, we all will discover that God is the only rock to stand on, the only hold we can rely on. The third commandment, observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy. This is a very wise invitation to set one day of the week aside for inner peace and reflection, where we cultivate the inner life more than the outer life. Here we step out of our worldly illusion and we remember who we truly are, why we are here, and where we are going. Being alone and quiet for a little while and enjoying the inner stillness brings peace and mental healing from the frantic preceding 6 days. Seclusion is the price of greatness. Communicating with God, the source of all being, recharges us so that we can face the coming week with calmness, strength, and happiness. Therefore, to keep apart one day for Him is in our best interest for our mental and physical welfare. Eventually, every day will be a day of deep connection and inner dialogue with God. Fourth commandment, honor thy father and thy mother. Our parents are the first humans we encounter. They are the representatives of God, who is the supreme parent. If we don't cherish and respect them, can we then truly love others? On our path of self-discovery, our parents are our initial mirrors, reflecting ourselves back to us. To truly live with lasting inner peace and happiness, we eventually need to resolve any unloving relationships with our parents and naturally with everyone else. Fifth commandment, thou shalt not kill. This is a reminder that we are not able to create new life. Therefore, we have no right to terminate the incarnations of others and even our own. This would bring the law of cause and effect into action. We all have heard the words, "He who will take up the sword will die by the sword." Therefore, happiness means deep reverence for all life forms, not just humans. Yes, this also includes not to kill the animals who are our little brothers and sisters. Sixth commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery. Adultery always starts with our thoughts. It is a breakdown of trust and loyalty. Why are faithfulness, respect, and honesty so important as the basis of a marriage or partnership? Because they allow both partners to develop in personal freedom and the unfolding of their unique gifts and contributions. That's happiness, isn't it? 7th commandment, you shalt not steal. Stealing always begins in the mind when we begin to covet what others have. Taking from them their property or love or peace or any other possession always creates karma, where we tie ourselves to our victim, sometimes for many future lifetimes. But we can also steal time and energy from our neighbor when, for instance, we have unimportant conversations, forcing our will or our opinions onto him. It always will come back to us as painful lessons. So happiness is the awareness that God, the fullness of life, is within each one of us. Why not unfold our inner richness instead of craving the stuff others have? 8th commandment, you shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Have we ever considered how easily we can harm someone through distortion of truth with our small talks and gossips? But bearing false witness also means to flatter our neighbor, to shower him with flowery words in order to achieve something for ourselves. Everything is energy, and any negative energy that we send out through our thoughts, words, and deeds will eventually return back to us. So the happiness in our life also depends on whether or not we tell the truth about others, whether we lie or not. 9th commandment, you shalt not covet your neighbor's house. And the 10th commandment, you shalt not covet your neighbor's wife, servant, handmaid, cow, donkey, nor anything that your neighbor has. Craving for possessions of others means that we are looking for happiness and fulfillment in the outer world instead within us. This is a source of discontentment, misery, and guaranteed unhappiness. Such desires and wishes are the result of our 5 senses, which constantly pull us into the outer world, away from the greatest treasure of all that lies within us, from God, who is the fullness and who always gives us what we need. Clarity can come quickly once we unmistakably know the difference between what we want and what we need. I remember Byron Katie asking herself, how do I know that I don't need what I want? I don't have it. Now that's wisdom.
Don't these 10 commandments become far more practical and even inviting when we see them through the lens of freedom, deep joy, and happiness? I'm happy you could be with me today, and if you subscribe, we'll meet again in my next video.